Hi, this is Taku and welcome to the second episode of season 2. Well, my last episode, which is the first episode, took about 6 minutes and 22 seconds in time, meaning that I spent 6 minutes and 22 seconds of my entire life dedicating it to a podcast. It's pretty exciting that I've already cut out that amount of time and I'm not gonna get it back. Time is interesting in that it is very valuable, but at the same time it's priceless. It cannot be bought, it cannot be sold, which puts it in a very awkward position because it's common to everyone, but at the same time it's scarce. Mr. Jeremy concludes time as more scarce and important than money. Now we are going to enter in and look at time, consistency, and one other thing that usually gets people doing weird stuff all around the world. It gets people nervous. It also gets people giving up. It gets people doing certain things which seemingly are a little bit foolish when they don't understand that they are no coincidences. And time is one way to prove it. Now, this importance of time is bound to give your life an essence of meaning, because when you're living your life and you don't have a direction, your life doesn't have meaning attached to it, you're bound to do anything and everything at any given time because you just don't care. Like, what is the point in all this, right? Okay, so the book of Acts, it talks about time under the sun, the wisest king. It was recorded on earth, King Solomon. He's talking about a time, a season, for everything, meaning that everything has its purpose embedded within its season. Now, here is the small example. If time would not give purpose, then have you ever considered why you were born this month and not born 100 years ago, or born maybe 200 years in the future? Because it makes more sense that you are born now because you have something you've got to fulfill. Here's an example. Have you ever made a discovery, or you take a paper, right? A piece of paper, and then you start forming some paper art, or you start forming some paper animals with the paper. You start cutting it. By the end of the day, if your project is beautiful and it proves useful, you either put it on a display, you either put it on a market, or you take photos of it and start posting. But the moment that project is flawed and you find out that, well, I was trying to make a pigeon, but at the end of the day it's just a heap of paperweight, and then I just cut it randomly. I couldn't come up with the idea that I really needed. What do? You take the paper by your hand, munch it, crush it, and throw it in a trash bin. The paper is never realized, it's never brought on the spotlight. Like you, by virtue of being born, now you're brought on the spotlight, which shows that it's not all for nothing, and it's not a coincidence that you're born right now. Now, for you to understand how to manipulate this time to your own advantage, before we even go to speaking about why you were born or how to discover it, the answer is hidden within time. I'm going to give an example of one piece that I was reading today. It was talking about Jesus. Things like Jesus' mission was to come on earth, and defeat the devil and then go back. But then he came and was supposed to do it within 3.5 years, right? And within 3.5 years, most of us would have expected a raging battle, like forces, swords, the kind of machines and the kind of weapons that were used at that time, like raging war on earth between Jesus and the devil. But what happened? Within the 3.5 years, Jesus was mingling with people. He was healing people. He was understanding people, and the battle was fought just at the end, and he succeeded. Now, this shows that he understood time and used it to his advantage. And now, we humans, we are not in a position to say that, well, God, because you haven't felt this, you don't know how it feels like being human. You don't have any excuse before Him. It's the same thing with time. Now, for you to be able to manipulate time, this is one thing that you have to get, and I'm going to explain it further. Don't study time in order to be able to manipulate it. Otherwise, you get it all wrong. For you to be able to manipulate time, study your vision, study your goal. This is enough for today. That's all.